Hi everyone, welcome to the Commons. Feel free to stand with us as we do some worship, or feel free to stay seated in your seats if you want to. Yeah, we're gonna sing a few songs. God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, every burning star, a signal so will I. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part designed in a work of art called love. If you gladly chose surrender, so will I. I can see your heart 8 billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you came to save. If you gave your life to love them, so will I. Still be my vision, O ruler of all. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. It's in you I find my home, in you I find my home, in you I find my home. It's in you I find my home, in you I find my home, in you I find my home. So take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. You release me from my pain, all my guilt and all my shame. You release me from it all. You release me from my pain, all my guilt and all my shame. You release me from it all. You release me from my pain, all my guilt and all my shame. You release me from it all. You release me from my pain, all my guilt and all my shame. You release me from it all. And oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. Oh, take me as I am, lying at your feet again. I come into your presence and I don't fear rejection, 'cause you take me as I am. You're not asking for perfection. I come into your presence and I don't fear rejection, 'cause you take me thank you all for worshiping with us. You can have a seat, and we're going to have Brian here give us some announcements.
This is less than 24 hours since I got this screen replaced, just to let you all know. So, I don't know why. Well, hi, my name is Brian. It's good to see everybody here. Sorry that my guitar also is just being weird and doing whatever it wants. So I just have a few announcements for you. So now that the summer weather is here, we want to really highlight our interest groups. So there are sign-ups out at the welcome table out there. If there's anything that you're interested as far as yoga, skateboarding, hiking, mountain biking, check out the table out there. And if you sign up, whoever's in charge of that contact group will reach out to y'all and get you going with that. We are not doing First Friday this coming week because there's some concert going on. Towers concert this Friday, so a lot of people are going there. That's where all the focus is right now. But the next month, we will be kicking off art walks at the office downtown. So please come down there and see us. June 2nd will be the next one. Something I do with this church and Trinity Heights and the Episcopal Church of the Epiphany is we have a youth group, which is called the Flagstaff Youth Co-op. It's middle school and high school ministries. So if anybody here has any middle schoolers or high schoolers who want to get plugged in, we do weekly events throughout the school year. We actually meet most of the time here. Sometimes we meet downtown at the Episcopal Church. We play games. We have good discussions. We eat junk food, all that good stuff. And then also we're getting ready for our summer. Our summer is going to be a little different, so if anyone is interested, we're just going to be doing like pop-up events here and there. And we do have summer camp, if anybody wants to pass that along, and that is July 20th to the 23rd. I can give more information if anybody is interested, and if any of you here have ever felt like, hey, I really enjoy working with middle schoolers and high schoolers, and that sounds like something you may be interested in, come talk to me, or let anybody here know, and they could connect you to me. We're always looking for leaders, people to help run our weekly groups, to go on the camps, to connect with the kids on a weekly basis and just really develop those relationships. So now I would like to welcome up Greta.
The Towers concert is at Coconino Center for the Arts. No, don't mean to plug that, but it is this coming Friday. It's going to be fun. Hey, everyone. My name is Greta. If I don't know you, I'm one of the pastors here at the Commons, and looking forward to sharing today. And also, if you hear any little squeak or chirping noises throughout the service, I just want to let you know that earlier we discovered that there's a baby chipmunk living in that wall, and we've been trying to figure out how to get it out. So if anyone is a master of trapping or catching little tiny cute things without them biting your hands and giving you rabies or something, let us know, because it's really cute. I'm going to start, as we always do, by praying for another church in town. We're going to lift up Federated, which is an awesome community. Their building's over downtown, and I have gotten to have lunch with Pastor Diamond a few times, and she's wonderful, and we're going to just lift them up in their community today. God, thank you so much for Federated and what they do in this community and their long history here in Flagstaff. We just pray for their community as they met this morning, that they felt peace and love and connection, and just a connection with you and their friends around them. And be with Pastor Diamond as she is helping guide that community and everyone involved in their leadership. Just thank you for the beautiful way that they include and welcome everyone, the beautiful ways that they use their building for this community and the AA meetings and everything they do there. And just thank you for who they are. We're so grateful for them. Amen. So if you didn't know, our other pastor here at the Commons, Charlie, he is actually in Europe today. So that's why he's not here, and I mean, I can speak even when he is here, but I'm excited to speak today. But him and his wife are celebrating their 20th anniversary, which is really exciting, and they're also celebrating Marka finishing her PhD, so that is a big thing, lots of things to celebrate. So I can't wait to hear the stories when they get back. But I'm actually getting ready to do a little bit of traveling myself. My band is getting ready to leave for tour on Wednesday and do a little 20-day run on the West Coast. So I'm really excited about that, and it's been a little bit of a whirlwind leading up to this week, getting ready to leave. But I knew that I wanted to speak today, even regardless of all of that, because we are kicking off a new series that I'm really excited about. The new series that we're starting today is called That's What She Said. And lots of you probably have heard that expression, maybe used in different ways, or a lot of times it can be used in a sexual innuendo type of way. But we are highlighting that phrase, that's what she said, because we are going to be looking at Does this one work? Yes. What she said, and when I say that, I mean the women in the Bible. So each week we're going to be highlighting a different woman from the Bible and her story and talking about who she is and why her voice matters. And I think in this space at a church, at the Commons, we always want to hold a certain level of reverence, and this space is very special and very sacred to me, and getting to connect and come here as a community and worship. And at the same time, I think we also want to remember that we don't need to take ourselves too seriously. I think we can title a series this, and we can laugh about it, and we can joke together, and that is also a beautiful part of community. So with that being said, I have a little video clip for you, because the TV show that kind of made this phrase more popular, as most of you know, is The Office. So just in case there's anyone out there that just has no idea what That's What She Said joke is, or what that phrase is referring to, just check this out. Like I said, we don't need to take ourselves too seriously. But that's always been a pillar of this church, and something that we value is that we have always had full equality for women in every space, in every way in this church. And I think that is not true for too many churches. Too many churches in our country don't have full equality for women. Too many churches, even here in Flagstaff, don't have full equality for women. A lot of churches that a lot of us have probably even attended. And a lot of times it can be kind of sneaky, right? Maybe some churches say oh, we totally believe that men and women are equal. They just have different roles. They're just supposed to use their gifts in different ways, which that's just basically saying, a woman can be a children's pastor, but not the head pastor. Or a woman can lead the women's ministry, but nothing where she might be preaching over men. And I just want to say that I don't think that is full, true equality. If we're talking about equality here, it's that there is access to every position, regardless of your gender. And I think that we value that because we're following Jesus' example of lifting up the voices of women. Jesus demonstrated only the highest regard for women. He talks to them, and when he does, he looks them in the eye, even when that's against the rules. He empowers them to speak up in their communities, and when others saw a woman as used or dirty, he would call them daughter and treat them with respect. Women financially supported Jesus' ministry. Women discovered the empty tomb. Jesus continually showed the worth and dignity of women as intrinsically equal. And when churches don't fully embrace that, I think they're missing out. They're missing out on a fuller, deeper level of community and love and sharing and knowledge. And for me, I've kind of decided for myself, like, what are my non-negotiables with a community? And this is just for me. Maybe you have your own non-negotiables of deciding, what communities you want to attend. But even when I am out of town or wanting to check out a different church, the questions I'm always asking are, is there full opportunity and inclusion for the LGBTQ community? And is there full opportunity and inclusion for women? And I think that when I have been in the spaces where those things are true, I think the signs are in the fruit. There is just so much goodness and so much diversity, and we can learn from each other, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm grateful for that freedom in this country to even be able to do that, right? A lot of people in a lot of other places might not even have that opportunity. And I know that America isn't perfect when it comes to gender equality in all the spaces. But we do have a lot to be grateful for, and my heart hurts often for my sisters in Iran and in Afghanistan who will get arrested on the street if they are singing in public, or if their hair's not covered, or if they post something on social media. So that's why this series matters, and that's why we value this topic and why we're excited to look at the women in the Bible and their stories over these next few weeks. And today, I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite stories, and it is about the Samaritan woman that Jesus interacts with at the well. And we're looking at this in the book of John. So the Apostle John is writing this. We can see it in the Gospel of John. And for a little bit of context here before we dive in, what's happening is Jesus and his disciples were in Judea, and they were there, and they hear that the Pharisees know that they've kind of started baptizing more people and more people are following them. And the Pharisees' ears have perked up to this, because in that day, what would happen is if someone was gaining too much popularity or too much notice or leading some sort of movement and the Pharisees weren't in control of it or the political people weren't in control of it, they felt threatened. And this often led to violence. This often led to hardship. So Jesus and his disciples decided to get out of Judea for a little bit and head back to Galilee. And while they're on their journey to Galilee, this interaction happens. We'll pick up here in John chapter 4, verse 4. Now he had to go through Samaria, so he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was about noon. When a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into the town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" For Jews do not associate with Samaritans. Jesus answered, "If you knew the gift of God and who it was that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and drank from it himself, as did his sons and his livestock?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." "Woman," a better translation would be "dear woman," a term of endearment. "Dear woman," Jesus replied, "believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know that Messiah, called Christ, is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." So in this story, I love how John interlaces all of these little moments where you kind of see his perspective and his take on things. He has these moments of almost these parenthetical thoughts where you see these moments where things are in parentheses, and when that's happening, it's John like stating something and then saying why that's interesting, or stating something and then saying, "This is really weird that this is happening, by the way," or stating something and then giving another important detail to it. And I think the reason he's doing this is because he knew that if a Jewish person was reading this story, that they would get it. They would know the context. They would know how strange this is, how countercultural this whole interaction was. But if someone was reading this that is not Jewish, which John maybe knew that there would be some people reading this that aren't Jewish, he wanted to give those details because we might not catch it the first time. So whenever there's these extra thoughts or these little phrases in parentheses, it's normally always something that's unexpected or unethical or unacceptable in their culture. And even from the very beginning of that part I just read, the way John phrases it is Jesus had to go through Samaria. He had to. You almost hear John's eye roll in his voice a little bit, like he had to go through Samaria. And the interesting thing is that he didn't have to go. There was definitely another way that most people in Jesus' position would go, because we had Judea down here, we had Samaria, and we had Galilee. Most people who were pious Jews, who were holy, who were these teachers and leaders, or in a position of reverence, if they were in Judea, they would cross the Jordan River, they would go north, and they would cross the Jordan River again back in Galilee. They would completely avoid Samaria as a whole. And the reason for that is because Jews and Samaritans did not like each other. They butt heads, they disagreed, they were not about it. And Jews almost had this prejudice against the Samaritans. They saw them as these kind of mixed breed, part Jewish, part other people who had taken some parts of Judaism but mixed it with some pagan ideas, and they had different mountains that they preferred to worship at, and all these things that they weren't about. But Jesus said, we're going to go through Samaria. He didn't live by those cultural norms. And maybe he just wanted a little bit of a shorter walk. Maybe he didn't care about the discomfort of those social interactions that might happen. Or maybe he knew something else. Another interesting fact here is it says it was about noon. And something we should note here is that people did not go to this well at noon. And when they went to this well, it was normally women that would go, and they would either go early in the morning or they would go around sunset time. And they would go as a group in a community. It was this thing with their friends. It was a time to socialize and talk with the other women as they walked to the well to fill up their bucket. It was a social thing that made them feel connected to the community. And this woman is going at noon, and she's going by herself, which means not only is she not a part of these communities that are going together, that are socializing, that are connecting, that are sharing stories, she doesn't even want to run into them. She's avoiding them, maybe because she doesn't want the side eyes that they're going to give or the whispers that they're going to say. She's avoiding them completely. She's going in the heat of the day to avoid them. And I can imagine that this would be so hard, because as she's going at noon, not only is it uncomfortable physically, but it's probably really uncomfortable emotionally, because what she's thinking about the whole time is why she has to go by herself, why she has to not be in the inner circle of her community, why she is lonely. Maybe she's thinking about the mistakes she's made in her life that's gotten her to that point. And that's a lot. And maybe some of us can resonate with that. We've had these seasons of life where we just feel like we're carrying this heavy thing and we're just walking alone through it. I think that's heavy. I think it's something to recognize. That's where she is. And when the Samaritan woman came to draw the water, I love this, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" And then in parentheses, his disciples had gone into the town to buy food. John's letting us know, like, they're alone. This is extra unacceptable. It's just them. That's probably not good. And then the Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? For Jews do not associate with Samaritans." So she understands that what Jesus is doing is wrong. But still, Jesus starts this conversation. He doesn't care. He sees her. He addresses her. He treats her with respect and starts a conversation, even though it's against everything that they were teaching. So I think this is fascinating because I think it's a human instinct sometimes to think, okay, how do I put myself in the right place with the right person at the right time so that I can maybe have a better opportunity or a better social scene or a better work experience, whatever it is, right? And what Jesus does is here we see him at the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time, and he's doing the opposite. I think that's an interesting thing to examine. Maybe being in the wrong place with the wrong person is actually the right choice. And then we see Jesus say, "Everyone who drinks this living water that I offer will never be thirsty again." And the woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." You almost hear this desperation in her voice here. I don't want to have to keep coming here. I don't want to keep having to be in the heat of the day alone, facing my shame, facing my past, just so I can quench this thirst, right? She's feeling it all, and she's asking for relief. Is there anything you can do to stop this pain, to stop this journey of hardship, this unquenchable thirst that I've had? And here we see Jesus, he says, "Go and get your husband." And she says, "I don't have a husband." And he knows that she's had 5 and that the man that she's with now is still not her husband. And she says, "I can see that you're a prophet. I know that the Messiah is coming." And then Jesus says, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." And I think right here, Jesus is not condemning her. He's showing that he knows her. He knows her story. By showing that he knows these things about her, he's saying, "You don't have to hide from me. I know you, I see you, and I chose to talk to you not because I don't know your story, but because I do know your story." We all have this thing inside of us that wants to be known, don't we? Whether it's by our family or our friends or by God, all of the above. We want to be known. We want to be seen for who we are, exactly how we are. I know that sometimes in my life, the hardest relationships that I've had to struggle through is when I just don't feel known, or I don't feel the desire from anyone to want to be known. And here we see him not only knowing her and showing that he sees her and looks her in the eye and knows her, but he's also making himself known. He's saying, "I am that. I am the Messiah." He's revealing this thing about himself. There's this mutual knowing, which just leads to this deep connection. A little bit ago, my daughter, Rowan, she's 5 years old, a little cutie over there, and we were hanging out in the kitchen, and I was folding some laundry, and she came over, and she was telling me a story, and I was listening and just folding this laundry, and she says, "Mom, listen to me." And I said, "I am listening to you," as I'm folding laundry. And she said, "No, listen to me with your eyes." And I just loved that, because I think we can all resonate with that, right? Like, no, I want you to really listen to me. I want you to hear my story. I want you to see me. I want to feel known by you right now. And why is it so hard for us to be known sometimes. Maybe for you, maybe it's because you are not sure who you feel safe with, right? Or you don't know who would even want to know more about you. Or maybe it's because, well, then you'd have to be vulnerable in a way that feels a little scary. And you'd have to share parts of yourself that are insecure. Or you'd have to share the parts of you that are tired or sad or angry. Or maybe it's the other end of it. Maybe you want to feel challenged to reach out and try to know someone else. How can we invest in knowing another person? Maybe that feels hard because, that takes time, right? It takes time to reach out and invest, and that feels thin sometimes. Or maybe it just means that you have to stop thinking about yourself for a little bit, and that doesn't always come as natural, right? Our eyes are always facing in on our issues and our problems, and if we just turn our eyes outward for a little bit, we could see who might want to be known and an opportunity for a safe relationship. Do you have a safe space to be known? I think that's a hope that I have for everyone here, for everyone in the world, that you would have a safe space to be known. And sometimes that comes more natural. Sometimes it's in structured ways, and sometimes it's something that you have to pursue intentionally. And I would challenge you to consider that if you feel that need in your life. I think one way to structure it, there's obviously a million different ways, but one way that I would present is try to find a group of 3 to 6 people is what I ideally feels safe, where you can really get deep and dive in together. Find a group of 3 to 6 people who you could ask, hey, could we hang out once a month consistently? Meet at someone's house or a place that's not too public, where we can really ask each other questions, where we can ask, what feels heavy in your life right now? Or what are you celebrating? Or how can we help you feel loved right now? Find a space for that and laugh together and cry together and eat food together, and know that it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes intentionality, and you might not be the same as those people. You might have differences, and that could be really awesome to lean into. But I'd hope that we can all have these spaces. Maybe it's once a month you're hanging. Maybe it's every other week. You just try to pursue, hey, can we create a space here where we can be known together? I think we all need that. And if we want to be known, and we are made in the image of God, do we think that maybe that means God wants to be known also? I think it's interesting how Jesus is also making himself known here. And there's this phrase that I really love that pops up in my mind sometimes, and it says, to be known is to be loved, and to be loved is to be known. To be known is to be loved, and to be loved is to be known. And I think that's what this woman is feeling here, right? She's feeling known, and in that she's feeling loved. Or maybe she's feeling loved, and in that she's feeling known. Maybe in some ways we can get to know God. And when I think about Jesus and this interaction and how we get this picture of who he is because of how he interacts with this woman, I think that we actually get to know God a little bit. Maybe Jesus is God wanting to be known. Maybe Jesus is God saying, hey, I want you to know me more. I know you've heard about me in your oral traditions. I know you've seen me in nature. I know you've seen me in love. But get ready for this. I'm going to send something so you can know me even more. As we close here today, I'm just going to read one more chunk of what happens in this woman's experience. Starting at verse 27, it says, just then his disciples returned and were surprised to find him talking with a woman. But no one asked, what do you want? Or why are you talking to her? Then, leaving her water jar, the woman went back to the town and said to the people, come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah? They came out of the town and made their way toward him. Many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. He told me everything I ever did. So when the Samaritans came to him, they urged him to stay with them, and he stayed 2 days. I love that the story includes this detail that she left the water jar behind. She wasn't worried about it. She was no longer concerned with this thirst. Jesus had given her a new purpose, and she got to go back to town, and she became the teacher. She became the missionary. She became a leader to her community. He gave her a voice. And when she tells them this story and introduces them to Jesus, I think her whole life changed. I mean, do you think after that she was still walking to the well at noon by herself? I don't think so. I think she probably felt accepted. She probably felt a part of something big in her community. I think she probably felt free. Maybe her thirst, I love that Jesus kind of gave this artistic, version of water in this ever spring of life and water. But maybe her thirst was really just to be known. And what he gave her was that. She was known by her community, she was included, and she was known by Jesus. So with this series being called That's What She Said, what is the message of the Samaritan woman? What does she say? And I think it comes down to these three things. In this last interaction where she's running back to town and telling everyone about this experience, these are the things that she says. First, she says, he knows me, right? She says that he told me everything I ever did. So she's going and she's proclaiming that to her community. This guy knows me. I am known. So I think the first thing here is that she's saying, hey, be known, be seen. How can you pursue that in your life? How can you find a space where you can be known and seen? And the second thing she does is she gives an invitation to the people of her community. She says, come and see this guy. And so I think that's what she's also saying as she's echoing this voice through time. She's offering an invitation. Maybe the invitation that we can step into is inviting people to know us deeper. Maybe it's inviting ourselves into spaces that are a little less comfortable so that we can help someone who's an outcast feel included. And the third thing she says to this community is she asks a question. So maybe she's saying, hey, keep asking questions. As you know, we always value questions here, but the question she says, even after she's already met Jesus and had this big interaction, she goes back to her community and she says, could this be the Messiah? She phrases it as a question. And I think if God wants to be known by us, he loves our questions, because our questions is what leads to our curiosity, and our curiosity is what leads to us stepping into, little by little, learning more about the bigness of God, the expansive love of God that is endless and growing. So these are the things, right? She's saying, be seen and known, offer an invitation, and keep asking questions. To be known is to be loved, and to be loved is to be known. I hope we can hold that with us this week, repeat that phrase to ourselves. Maybe it's just being known by God and resting in that. Maybe it's a challenge of being known by community. However that meets us today, pray that we can sit with that. I'm going to welcome us into a time of communion. There's options on either side here. It's an open table. Everyone's welcome, but there's no pressure if you'd rather not. And the band's going to come up and we'll sing a song together as we sit with these thoughts. God, thank you so much for this woman, this unnamed woman from Samaria, who is brave and who Jesus is not afraid to talk to. And thank you for the ways that she goes back to her community and uses her voice. Pray that we can feel inspired to use our voice. We can be inspired to talk to those that people think are not worthy. I pray that we would feel your love in a deeper way today, that you see us, that you know us, and that you have more for us to step into tomorrow and the next day and the next day, that we are not stagnant. We thank you for that truth. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
train leaving your heart tonight. There's a silence inside your head, and you're running from it. Down the tracks on a midnight line, there's a red moon in the sky, and you're running from it. But I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. Wrestling angels till dawn breaks through. There's a blessing in the wound, and you're running from it. When all the demons are at your door, it's a soldier they're looking for, and you're running from it. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. Across the sea, the space between everything you think you know, the things you keep and bury deep underneath the melting snow, will follow. Fathers and mothers don't always come through, but I'm never gonna stop following you. Prophets and lovers don't always hold true, but I'm never gonna stop falling for you. So when your wine's all gone and your well runs dry, open your hands and look into my eyes. All that is hopeless can be redesigned. So open your hands and look into my eyes. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. I'm coming with you, I'm coming with you wherever you go. Fathers and mothers don't always come through, but I'm never gonna stop falling for you. Prophets and lovers don't always hold true, but I'm never gonna stop falling for you. We're going to sing one more song as we close out today, so feel free to stay seated and reflect, or to stand with us, whatever you're most comfortable with. If my heart is overwhelmed and I cannot hear the storms of life they come and the road ahead gets steep, I will lift these hands in faith, I will believe. I'll remind myself of all that you've done and the life I have because of your Son. Love came down and rescued me. Love came down and set me free. I am yours. I am forever yours. Mountain high or valley low, I sing out to remind my soul that I am yours. I am forever yours. When my heart is filled with hope, every promise comes my way. When I feel your hands of grace rest upon me, staying desperate for you, God, staying humble at your feet, I will lift these hands in praise, I will believe. I remind myself of all that you've done and the life I have because of your Son. Love came down and rescued me. Love came down and set me free. I am yours. I am forever yours. Mountain high or valley low, I sing out to remind my soul that I am yours. I am forever yours. I am yours. I am yours. All my days I am yours. I am yours. I am yours. All my days I am yours. You see me, and you know me, and you love me through and through. You see me, and you know me, and you love me through and through. You see me, and you know me, and you love me through and through. You see me, and you know me, and you love me through and through. Thanks for singing with this.
We'll see if this works now. Hey, okay, maybe. Thank y'all so much. Thanks for being here today. A couple of things. If you'd like to join us for dinner afterwards, we're going to head over to Some Burros, that little Mexican place right over by Wildflower in that little complex. So come to Some Burros if you want to get some tacos or something and hang out a little bit more and get to know someone. Also, we do not have to stack chairs today because Trinity Heights has a little event, so just leave those here. And we hope to see you